college and, they're teaching you, like, mime, hold the rope, whatever, walk against the wind, like, when the hell am I ever gonna use that? Well, in Fantastic Beasts 3 out there, walking against the wind. And I'm like, what? The chemistry of all the actors in the movie was totally CGI. Took months and months of post-production to make us look like we liked each other. I'm just gonna stare at it for the rest of the time.
Are you able to stare and speak at the same time?
No.
Did you get a chance to meet J.K. Rowling? Did she tell you anything about Jacob that we don't know yet?
She goes, Jacob is one of my favorite characters. And I was like, yes, go on. She goes, I love it because...
Pottershop se mění na Wizardo. Vyčarujte si slevu 10% u partnera tohoto videa s kódem CCT10.
Jacob Kowalski, it's crazy. I found out that I got the role at San Diego Comic-Con. Okay? I'm auditioning for Jacob. They keep bringing me back to audition. So I auditioned like for the 20th frickin' time, and they're just like, okay, we're gonna audition everybody else in the world, so, sit tight for 6 months and wait for the next time we call you. I was like, all right. So I was not expecting to get the role. I was like, I have already won just being in the running. Okay? So I'm at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's packed, and I'm sweating my brains out, and I have my comic books, and I'm just lugging my comic books through the crowd, boxes of comic books, because that's the only reason I was there that year, was to sell my comics. And I was like, sometimes I'm there with the movie, and this time I was not, so I was there, because I had comic books that I write. So I was dragging my comics through the crowd. Everyone seemed like everyone was just coming at me. And I was like, God, can you make it any harder? And then I get a phone call, and it's my agent. And she's like, where are you right now? I was like, I'm at Comic-Con. And she goes, well, Comic-Con's gonna be a lot different next year. What's crazy, his bakery, Kowalski's Confections, okay, is on Stanton and Rivington in Manhattan. So Stanton and Rivington is where the theater was that we invented the Spelling Bee show.
Okay.
Okay? The theater was called the Theatorium on Stanton and Rivington. So already there was a connection. I was like, oh, okay. The place where I started my career is now the home of this guy's bakery. I had to travel from Brooklyn all the way to London to come to Manhattan, which was crazy. They built Manhattan. And that was just incredible. And then to see the bakery on Stanton and Rivington, and then my dad just being like, you know that your great-grandfather had a bakery on Stanton and Rivington. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, Fogler's famous pumpernickel. And so now I'm basically just like stepping into my great-grandfather's shoes. Like, it's like a time machine every time I play that role. And it was just such a gift from the universe. It was just like, you've done well, you deserve this little beautiful nugget of magic. Yeah, it's really cool.
Wow, that's a great story. So when you got the role, did you get the chance to meet J.K. Rowling? Like, because she's famous for making all this, backstory for everyone. Did she tell you anything about Jacob that we don't know yet?
Oh. Oh boy.
Just between the two of us,
Okay, just so. JK, I met her like, it was crazy. It was like in rehearsals for the first movie. So I'm like right off the plane and I'm just like, you're Hugh. In a room with her. And what do you say? And she had a manuscript that was on the table, and she was standing up, and the script was up to here, a big pile of a script like that. And I look at the script and I go, do I have to learn all those lines? And she goes, no. She goes, this is everything. So she had the whole arc for 3, 4, 5 movies already in place before we started rehearsal for the first movie. Okay? She's like, that's everything. I was like, oh my God, you're a genius. And she goes, yeah, Jacob is one of my favorite characters. And I was like, yes, go on. She goes, I love him because he's like Ron. He's like Ron Weasley. In the sense that he's the loyal buddy, but he also gets the girl, and he gets to clown, he gets to do everything. And that was such a beautiful little tidbit of direction at the beginning process. I was like, okay, I'm in that wheelhouse. He's obviously, if he was gonna, be sorted, he'd be sorted into Hufflepuff, right? Because he's loyal, because he bakes, it's like he's basically Hufflepuff. And she goes, no, he's Gryffindor, because he's a soldier first. So that was also another lovely little piece of direction. He's a soldier before anything else, which explains why he runs into the fire all the time.
Was that all completely faked, or was it really pleasant to be on the set and do the show, do the movie with everyone else?
The chemistry of all the actors in the movie was totally CGI. Months and months of post-production to make us look like we liked each other. So they go out of their way to really cast people who are nice to get along with. They really wanted people on set that were, a pleasure to be around. And that's just me in a nutshell. And so everybody in the cast was somebody that was just a joy, really. There wasn't really anybody that was a jerk. They really did not allow that kind of stuff on set.
But even like Matt, because I think I've never seen him smile if he's not like completely drunk.
I knew Matt from Hannibal. Mm-hmm. I played Franklin on Hannibal, and I think I had like maybe 6 episodes of Hannibal, maybe less. What was great was we'd have these, very serious scenes where he's, judging me and watching these little therapy sessions, and it's all very dark, and then they'd yell cut, and then I would just be so excited that I got through the lines, without messing up, and I would just be like, yay! And then he'd just be like, wait, what was that? What was that? What are you doing there? And I mean, like, I'm excited, and then he'd be like, I'm excited too, yay! And we would go back and forth. You don't expect him to be so silly, But he is, and he's like Buster Keaton in a lot of ways, just with his face. Just so much expression. Yeah, and then when I saw him on Fantastic Beasts, I was like, if they got to replace somebody, I'm glad it was you, buddy, because I know you, and I knew him, and I knew that he could do an amazing job. It was sad to see Johnny go, but to see Mads come in, just be like, oh, I know this guy, I love this guy. And I think he did a great job, and it was a pleasure to be on set with him.
Yeah, have you enjoyed having that a bit drunken fight with him in the last movie?
Yeah, I was getting very drunk in that scene.
Mm-hmm. Like for real? Or?
No. Nothing in the glass. That was his magic wine. I had to play drunk. Yeah, they pared that scene down very much. There was more of a scene that happened at the table there, which I miss. There was a lot of great dialogue there. But I got into movies for scenes like that, where you have this romantic tension, and then everyone's in the tuxes, and everyone's looks amazing, and then unravels into chaos, confrontation, and then suddenly it's a tornado, and stunt people are being thrown all over the place. Oh my God, I love being at the center of that.
Tornado.
The magic tornado, yeah. Because that to me was, I went to college and, you know, they're teaching you like mime, you know, hold the rope, walk against the wind. You know, like, when the hell am I ever going to use that? Well, in Fantastic Beasts 3 out there, walking against the wind. And I'm like, what? My parents would be so happy, you know. I didn't waste any money on college. Yeah.
Well, you even draw your little wand at Matt's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I love that tiny bit that you got your own wand
I got
as a
my own
muggle. How happy you were, because I guess everyone else got their own.
Yeah.
And were they making fun of you? Like, oh, you that muggle.
Yeah. Yes, they were. It was really hard for the first 2 movies. It's like being in Star Wars and not having a lightsaber. Yeah. Or even a phaser. That's Star Trek. Nobody jumped on me, that's fine, I'll get you. But yeah, the drawing of the wand, I was like, oh, he's a soldier. They haven't given him any training at all. He doesn't know what he's doing. So he would probably draw the wand like a gun. So in the movie, I draw the wand like this. Which is, that's how I did it. I was like, all right, that's how we're gonna hold it.
And did you get to keep the wand?
No, I did not.
Well, because you're very lucky. Because I felt really sorry for your character, you know, not having the wand. So we got you something that I think that might fit.
Is it chocolate?
No.
New York.
Yeah, it's custom made. There's no core, you know, like
this.
We have this wonderful cartoon drawing artist here who does like DuckTales, and he did this for us.
If I didn't say Folkler's famous pumpernickel, this wouldn't have made any sense whatsoever.
Yes. Yeah, it
love
took some skill.
That's so lovely. Thank you.
And I don't think that this way you would definitely get mad, you know, with this.
Oh, and not come out with this thing.
Yeah. Maybe even a few zombies.
I'm just gonna stare at it for the rest of the time.
Are you able to stare and speak at the same time?
No.
Okay, so this was a very nice evening, everyone. Now we will sit in silence and...
You never should have given him that rolling pin. He's still sitting there, watching it.
We've got some audience questions about Fantastic Beasts. Like,
delightful.
Yeah, what's your favorite Fantastic Beast?
I like the Demiguise. Yeah, Demiguise is smart. Demiguise can play poker with you, play cards with you. Except they also know the future. So you can take them to like the track. You can take them to get lottery tickets, which is great, win a lot of money like that. And you can shave down and a Demiguise and wear a little Demiguise mink coat.
But she
But
even like
invisible!
Oh, like invisible sweater.
Yeah, the cloak of invisibility, but it would be like a Demiguise mink coat of invisibility.
But you would keep them alive, you know? You mean like
No,
shave, not skin them,
you
just
shear it like a sheep.
Like sheep. Okay.
And you'd give it plenty of food.
We've got another question. Do you know how to bake?
I've been known to bake. Oh, food? Yeah. Brownies. Cookies. I make some mean Rice Krispie treats. Yeah. But it's not my first profession, although it's a very strong hobby. What's that green thing?
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, that is one fun thing to stare at.
There's another one. Wow.
Would you prefer to play a wizard over playing model?
Would I like to play a wizard over a muggle? Yes! I'd love to just. Well, I'm hoping that if we ever get to more movies or streaming series, if we ever see Jacob again, we don't know if he doesn't know how to wield magic. He was given a wand with no cord. They didn't even give him a chance. You know? And I'm thinking, he's got such a big heart and he's so lucky. Like, I feel like he's got some kind of magic relatives or something. There's some magic in there.
Okay.
And that, you're like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
maybe in the future he picks up the wand, suddenly he starts working. And I'd love for Jacob to become a wizard. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's an obvious question following this. Can you tell us something about Fantastic Beasts number 4?
Nothing.
Or
All I know-
a series.
Okay, well, all I know is that the 4 and 5 were supposed to be this enormous, epic war between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, like a world war. You know? Could you imagine that? Just like giant, sprawling battle scenes and Jacob running through all of that. Riding a hippogriff or something, I don't know. Magical bombs. Yeah, I think that, I mean, I hope they make them because there's just, I was really looking forward to it, like this amazing, enormous battle between the two wizards. Yeah, I think what they've been talking about recently is, I hope, bless you, I hope that they make Cursed Child into a series. Then you'd be able to bring back all of the originals, and they'd be the right age that they would need to be to play the parents. And then you have their kids, you have all the new characters. There's time turners involved. So who knows, you could go back in time and Jacob might be walking in the back of some scene, but I'd love to see that. I think that would be a great series if everybody came back. Yeah, I don't know what they would do otherwise. What else are they saying? They're saying that they would reimagine the books again? Like,
Yeah.
that seems strange to me.
Like new TV show announced, like every season would be one book. It's
One of the
weird.
books.
One book per one season.
Oh, that's wishful thinking.
Would you like to play any characters from the book in this series? No Jacob, but
Yeah.
any character from the Harry Potter.
Hagrid. Yeah, just to be tall just once.
How it feels to be such famous stars, such steaming actors, you as all of the actors are. How it feels to be in your everyday life. It's not a short question, is it?
Yeah, I mean, it changes your life, man. You know? Like right now, I'm trying to figure out what your true intention is.
I'm just curious is all. I'm interested in people. I love people.
Okay.
So,
It's great because in certain places, like you're with your family and you're getting to the airport and then suddenly the passport person's just like, oh my God, you know, in those moments it's nice. Things get expedited, you know, stamp. But, you know, sometimes there is no anonymity, it's difficult, you know, to just be yourself sometimes. So you have to acquire a philosophy of just like going with the flow and just compassion, love. That's how I roll.